Move in! Move in! Right here!
Yeah!
There is news from Boston! News of a new act! A new act of abuse and oppression. It's entitled the Coercive Act, but here in the colonies, it's being referred to as the Intolerable Act.
Because they are intolerable.
Yes.
There are over 4,000 troops under General Gaines who have the right to force land any good man's home.
Yes.
I would have my home burned before quartering any of those British regulars.
Prohibited from holding sessions, and town meetings have been forbidden.
We should never give up our right to public meetings. That's what keeps us free.
Gentlemen, the time has come for us to stand together as free and honest men in protest to what has been done to our brothers in the city of Boston. Their peaceful protest has been countered with acts of violence. The governor of Massachusetts has become brutal and oppressive. Now we know where we stand, but the longer we hesitate to raise our voices, the longer it will take for our voices to be heard. The time to speak out is now. We must act before it's too late.
Should we risk our lives for the sake of Yankees Raiders who have done nothing to benefit us? Let them care for themselves, and we shall do likewise. We owe them nothing.
Yes!
You upstarts are preaching treason. We forced over our ties with the mother country that gave us birth. Who should we train? Who will secure the necessities that we cannot provide for ourselves in this hostile land? Who will protect our freedom?
How can you talk of freedom when we live in a colony where free men have been imprisoned?
Yeah,
their
right,
rights and
brother.
dignity gone. Are we any different? We do not act while we still can. We shall lose our pride and our self-respect.
If we do not act to support our mother country, our punishment will be devastating.
I know we all have a fondness for that far-off land we once called home, but this is now our home. And the question we must answer is whether we are to be free in our homes, or whether we are to buckle to the whims and fancies of our dear cousins back in England who know very little of our lives here.
Our homes, our lives, and our freedom are at stake. Parliament threatens them. Our homes and all of our belongings are taxed by us. Who collects this tax?
The king!
Parliament.
And now our freedom as well.
Yes! Taxation without representation.
Regulate stuff. Yes!
Our freedom is but a dream unless we join in making the law which governs us.
Yes!
To the river!
Lower the price of the tea. We're being protected. The actions of Parliament are for our benefit.
The Tea Act is not for our benefit, but for the profit of the British East India Tea Company. They can sell their tea here cheaper because they're exempt from paying tax on it. Our own merchants who have to purchase tea from other companies cannot compete with that. They'll be driven out of business.
But George, our argument is not for the price of tea, nor is it with the British East India Tea Company, but rather the actions of Parliament. You see, the Boston Port Act has empowered the British garrison in that city to close the port to all commerce by the 1st of June. Will they stop there? No. Or will British military power simply close any port they choose? We cannot stand by and watch the closing of the port of Boston any more than we can watch the closing of our port here in Chestertown.
Our demonstrated opposition to this act will incur the wrath of King and Parliament, who will defend us when our punishment comes. Will they? No.
Yes.
And just as any good man would do.
What are you men about? Let's breathe and idealistic talk entangle you in foolish action.
And what will become of your protest? All you high-minded men will find yourself soon in the governor's quarter cellar.
I think that you gentlemen should forget all of this trouble and mind your own business.
But
what we are doing, ladies. We are minding our own businesses. We must mind them or we will lose them.
Yes.
And your business, might I add, is your home. And you should therefore...
His fools that laugh as they march into folly. Your laughter is but a mask. True courage is not brazen. If you must protest, do it in a legal fashion. Show the king and governor some respect.
Show your husband some respect! The people of Chestertown have long wrestled with this issue and have determined there remains no alternative but to do as our courageous brothers in Boston have done and dump the tea in the harbor!
Gentlemen! Listen to the Reverend. He may be the only ones among you who have not yet gone mad.
Gentlemen, I know many of you from my parish, but I speak to you today as a friend. I'm concerned for you. I speak for moderation. Don't hasten your rashness. Consider all of the things that you're about to do, the acts, the consequences, the implications. Weigh your values. What are a few pence worth that you would jeopardize our freedom and our peace and maybe lead us into war?
Calm down, Father. Let us speak, as you say, in moderation. We're not going to war. We're speaking out against an immodest position taken by our English brothers. Moderation, as you know, is not a sin but a virtue. And therefore, there is virtue in our protest. Eh, brothers?
Yeah! Will we wait until our port, our town, and our shops fall to the mercy of a British garrison before we gather the courage to demonstrate our belief in freedom?
Our brothers in Boston are struggling in the common pursuit of liberty. We must let it be known that the people of Boston are suffering under a punishment too severe. Other colonies share our feelings. We're not alone. We must demonstrate our disfavor with the closing of the port.
At this very moment, the brigantine Geddes lies at anchor in our port, and in its hold is a shipment of East India Company tea. At our meeting just a few nights ago, we resolved that tea should not be brought ashore, that the sale or the consumption of that tea was unlawful and forbidden. I say we commit ourselves to liberty and to freedom by dumping that tea in the river. We should act openly, without disguise, without the cloak of darkness, and stand ready to defend our actions and protect our freedom at any cost. Who's with me?